This is Sean O'Malley, and you're watching Full-Time MMA. Don't be a bagel-biting, bagel-bitch boy, bagel-bitch back.
Stream is not starting soon. Make sure you guys can hear me. We're good. What's going on, Full-Time family? It's time to start the show. It's Monday, November 5th. And we got quite a bit to talk about. We're going to be live for about an hour today. I got to get to work after the show. But we're going to talk about UFC 230, recap the main card for sure at least. Floyd Mayweather just announced a fight with Tenshin Nasukawa. Somebody was telling us about Tenshin Nasukawa last week on the show. Looked up some of his highlights. The kid is a fucking beast. He's only 20 years old and he's getting a fight with Floyd Mayweather. That came out of nowhere. Floyd Mayweather fighting in a kickboxing match. And Rizin. What the fuck is going on, guys? Floyd Mayweather better rethink this. They better turn this into a boxing match. This better be Rizin boxing. If Floyd Mayweather ain't trying to get knocked the fuck out. I'm talking like Debo. I'm telling you guys. This Tenshin Nasukawa dude is something serious with the striking. He will knock you out cold, stiff, smelling salts. Wake this guy up. This guy's a beast. Floyd Mayweather better box this guy. Don't kickbox this guy in Rizin, Floyd. We're going to talk about that in a little bit. There's reports that Ben Askren versus Darren Till is being worked on, potentially for UFC London, which was recently announced, as well as Wonderboy versus Robbie Lawler, which we've heard about for a while now. Either way, there's talks of that being potentially announced soon, which is going to be an amazing fight. We're going to talk a little bit about the upcoming UFC fight card, UFC Denver, which Frankie Edgar fell out of the main event. Now it's Korean Zombie versus Yair Rodriguez. So we're going to talk a little bit about all of that and a little bit of news in between. So salute to the Full-Time family. Let's pull up the chat, see who's here early, give a few shout-outs to the family. Let's see, Fat Ninja Flip in the building. Spider-Man Live says, poor Khabib. Unemployed Mario Yamasaki says it's straight boxing. Is it straight boxing? I heard something about a kickboxing match. Yeah, bro, with body shots, etc., says Mr. Perfect 2005. Help the bear! Spider-Man lives in the building. What's going on, Stamina MC? Unemployed Mario Yamasaki. At least that's what Luke Thomas is saying. It better be, and this kid is still dangerous, but if Rizin has boxing, that'd make a lot more sense. Because do not kickbox this guy. You kickbox that fucking guy and you're going to sleep. Got bodied by a skinny nigga. Fuck what you mean, says Forward. Oh, shit. You got bodied by a singing nigga. That reminds me of that song. Everlove's Hot Wing says, Floyd wouldn't fight anyone he thinks has a chance. I know, especially this young 20-year-old fucking stud that's been knocking motherfuckers stiff over there in Rizin. I mean, with straight left, spinning heel kicks, flying knees. He's just been laying motherfuckers out over there. This dude is crazy. So, yeah. Interesting, though, because we heard Floyd Mayweather talking about fighting Pacquiao. You know, they met actually overseas, I believe, in Asia, some random nightclub. Like, yo, let's fight. This time, motherfucking shoulder. This time, I'm going to knock you out, man. So there was talks of Mayweather versus Pacquiao. That hasn't materialized yet. Maybe that's still in the works for some future date. But it looks like not only the Pacquiao plans, but also the potential Khabib plans are definitely going to be put on hold for Tenshin Nasukawa, who you might not be familiar with, but I'm telling you, the kid is dangerous. Full-Time, what happened to Brunson, says Forward. What happened to Brunson is exactly what we expected would happen to Brunson. It was a toss-up fight. We knew Adesanya going into the fight had great takedown defense. It's facts. No one said, oh, Brunson's about to win. Brunson's about to smash Adesanya. We just said he has a chance, which he does, and he would have a chance in the rematch. I mean, Adesanya's a beast, a potential future star, but to be fair, he's not there yet. You know what I'm saying? Pump the brakes. Pump the brakes. You remember you got ahead of yourself with Darren Till, and you saw what happened there. Don't get ahead of yourself Forward. I remember you called Bisping the GOAT. Man, chill. Mr. Perfect 2005 says we was telling him about this too, Full-Time. Yeah, Tenshin Nasukawa, he's a beast, bro. Fat Ninja Flip says the movie Undisputed 3 had a good boxer versus kickboxer scene. Okay, I think I've seen Undisputed 1 and 2. I don't know if I've seen 3 yet. I gotta check that out. That wasn't no toss-up. Yeah, if you, I mean, I don't know, you probably got a little selective hearing. Go back and listen to the panel. I said I would not be surprised in any way if Israel Adesanya dominates this fight, and I would not be surprised if Derek Brunson knocks this kid out. So I wasn't surprised. It wasn't like, oh, Adesanya's got no chance, man. I'm sleep on Adesanya. Man, not at all. I said this is a tough test. We'll see if he passes it. He passed the test. Brendan Child's Pink Boots says, I'm trying to see someone put Floyd in an anaconda choke. I bet he won't tap. Yo, chill. That's going to be one of the quickest taps you might have ever seen. This is different full-time. Stylebender is better than that bum from Liverpool. Yo, chill. Hell nah. That's crazy. Fact Ninja Flip says Floyd is like Dudley. Street Fighter shit, says unemployed Mario Yamasaki. Yeah, no, Stylebender's a beast, man. He's a beast for sure, but I mean, as if you're a real MMA fan, you always have to be a little skeptical, especially when it's a guy coming over from a striking background trying to fight at the highest level of the sport. Unless you're just kind of blinded by the, antics and you just love him so much. Even after the win last night over Derek Brunson, you still are wondering, but where's his ground game? Where's his jiu-jitsu? When he did put everyone on notice, you'll soon find out. Okay, well, this might be a situation where he's got time to work on his ground game a little bit until he actually gets that ultimate test. Kind of like Conor McGregor, right? He came up fighting the Dennis Sievers and the younger fighters of the world until they probably felt like his wrestling defense was where it needed to be to take on a Chad Mendes. So, fighting this fight and fights like Brad Tavares, where he's got a good chance to win, as you saw by the odds. I mean, it's MMA, so it's always a chance for the other guy. But at the same time, fighting these fights is going to allow him, in the meantime, to work on his grappling and work on those holes that he might have in his game. So this kid could potentially be a future champion. I mean, 1 or 2 more fights, he could be fighting for the title. So, but still, even after last night, you can't be 100% saying this kid is the next fucking GOAT and will never lose. He's got the most well-rounded fighter I've ever seen. You know what I'm saying? Condemning motherfuckers in the rear view. Damn, homie. Yeah, Ford in here's like, I finally got one. Finally. But all right, let's talk about Floyd versus Tenshin a little bit. John Morgan reported per hearsay at this point, but I was told from a reliable source that the current plan for Mayweather on NYE isn't MMA, but specific rules not known yet. However, it would be an exhibition of 3 3-minute rounds. Now, I guess I'll just point it out because I really don't give a fuck. And, I'm already shadow banned. Gotta point, and Chael Sonnen's pointed this out too, but it was back in the day. He's talking about how Rizin, like back in the day, or a lot of the fights in Japan, maybe not specifically the Rizin organization, but he said a lot of the fights in Japan when he was leading up to his fight with Fedor, he was like, a lot of those fights were fixed and blah, 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 blah. I don't know how many were, but you do know you see Gabby Garcia versus like 58-year-old ladies and shit, so it's like a lot of the fights in Rizin are a little circus-ish, in my opinion. Like, they've definitely got some freak shows over there, but they've got some legit fights and legit fighters. But with that being said, Floyd Mayweather has fought in the WWE. I would not be surprised if they went over there, showcased this young fucking stud, did a little bit of light sparring in the ring. I don't think Floyd's getting fucking knocked out, They ain't gonna let the young man knock him out. Floyd wouldn't have took the fight if he thought he was about to get fucking knocked out cold by this young 20-year-old kid. He wouldn't have took the fight. That's not Floyd's MO. So, go over there, put the kid in there with Floyd for a little bit. No one's probably getting knocked out, right? Unless, you know what I'm saying? Unless the kid fucking gets creamed. But I don't see Floyd taking this fight if he thought he would get knocked out. So, interesting little maybe showcase for this kid. And like I said, someone pointed out to us on the show, and I told you guys at the beginning of the show, if you watch some of Tenshin Nasukawa, I'm literally just learning this guy's name. Nasukawa. If you watch some of his fights or some of his highlights, this kid is a fucking stud. So, probably going to be some some new rules, not MMA, no takedowns. Even if it's a kickboxing fight, bro. It's literally, it's going to have to be pure boxing. You can't even have leg kicks. I would be cool with that, bro. Boxing and leg kicks. Just not even body kicks, no head kicks, no flying knees, no takedowns. boxing and leg kicks. Man, I'll make it a little even. And let a nigga live a little bit, says Forward. Yo. He said, yo, let me live. I got, hey, yeah. Hey, you got one. You got to get one. You know what I'm saying? As far as Till, you know, I was, and I like Adesanya too. I think he's got that. He's definitely got the it factor as far as star potential. I mean, even in that fight last night, I thought it was like, I was like, look at this dude. Like he first he flipped him off. That was cool. You know, like a Diaz brother flipped him off in the cage, but then he pointed to the ground like, motherfucker, you're going down. Like, he didn't like what Derek Brunson was doing. I forgot what it was. What was it? Did he grab the cage or something? Oh, no, his shorts. He was pulling out his shorts. He was fucking, he wasn't trying to pull them off, but trying to secure the takedown. He was fucking pulling at Brunson's shorts. And he was unsuccessful with the takedown attempt all night. Maybe he figured, oh, shit, he's going to try and grab his shorts, and I'm going to get the takedown. Maybe the ref won't see it. But Adesanya was like, hey, this motherfucker's grabbing my shorts, ref. And the ref saw it at that point and took the position away from Brunson. But whenever fucking Adesanya was done fixing his shorts back up, he just flipped him off like, hey, all right, motherfucker, now you're going down. Trying to take my, you want some of my dick? You know what I'm saying? Why you trying to pull my dick out, bro? Now you're going down. You know what I'm saying? So he fucking, and he did it. He finished Brunson. So that was super dope. That was a hell of a moment that I can imagine we'll see. I can just imagine seeing it on like countdowns and replays where he's flipping off Brunson, pointing at the ground, and then he actually knocks him out later in the fight. That's some shit right there. I fucks with Adesanya, but I'm just saying it. I'm the way you're putting it is still like, you know what I'm saying? And some people might believe this, but I don't at all. I don't believe Derek Brunson is a bum. A lot of people are like, man, I told you Derek Brunson was a bum. Like, no, he's not. He's literally only losing to the best fighters in the world in the UFC. So I still fuck with Derek Brunson even after the loss. Lolita David says, hope the Tenzin knocks Floyd out with the spinning back kick. That would be crazy, but you know good god dang well Floyd Mayweather wouldn't sign him to that fight if they were throwing spinning back kicks. I underestimated him full time. He beats Mayweather and moves over to the UFC. Ooh, that would be crazy. Dana White said they have a kid, but this kid's in Rizin, so it can't be him. Dana White was doing an interview. I think it was the interview he did with like Business Insider or something before the McGregor Khabib fight. One of those interviews he did where he sat down and he was talking about they have a kid, a fucking Asian kid that he's got the potential to be a killer. He's like, yo, this kid, he could be the future. If we can get this kid going, we're going to have a big future in Asian, in the Asian market. Like, so they got big plans, Dana White and them, as far as expanding over to Asia, he spoke about in that interview. And so with that being said, I don't think it's this kid, but I'm curious. I've been wondering, like, what kid is he talking about on the roster? Like, after he said that, I've been trying to wonder. I'm curious who Dana White was speaking of. But this kid fights for Rizin, but shit, he's definitely a beast. Only Conor gets away with that shit, says Jorge 1. Yeah. That was one thing, right, in the fight. Like, I noticed that throughout, like, that wasn't the only fight, but there was another fight that Herb Dean was coaching, and he, like, took away a position or something, and I think someone pointed that out. It might have been you, Jorge, like, yo, we sure are reffing tonight, ain't we? Where was all this shit when Conor was throwing fucking up knees from the bottom and doing all this crazy shit, right? Bubba G says, Brunson had some weak takedowns, just saying. I mean, to be fair, Adesanya has great takedown defense. You know, like, I don't know, Adesanya's got, and he's shown that in the past. And, we pointed that out leading up to the fight. Israel Adesanya has great takedown defense. And as weak as his takedowns might have been last night, he did take Romero down 3 times, and yeah, he didn't keep him down, but at the same time, he's got the ability to take down high-level wrestlers. So, it might have been, weak takedowns last night, or it might have just been superb takedown defense from Israel Adesanya. I'm going to lean with the latter. All right, let's get to the news, man. We got to get to work. I'm over here just chopping it up. All right, guys. It's time to get to the motherfucking news cycle, the daily news. Let's get it. And with that being said, we're going to start, though, just covering the main card that was yesterday. We talked about Adesanya versus Brunson a little bit. I know you guys hear that crazy beeping. I'm about to shut it off. Oh wait, she's got her phone, so we're good. She'll shut it off. But so I'll see if any fights stuck out to me on the prelims. I don't think any did. You know, like last week there definitely was. The Don Madge and Tay Edwards, you know, there was some fights that stood out. But down here, Wizard Chick, Burgos, the draw with Venata, that was a decent fight, you know, potential fight of the night until we saw the main card. Saunders, knocked out by Lyman Good. Arce versus Moraes, that was a bloodbath. Eubanks versus Modafferi, that wasn't much of a show there. You know what I'm saying? Not a dominant performance, in my opinion, from Sarge. She got the win, but Roxanne did a lot better than I thought she would. I know a lot of people expected Sarge to come in here and get the finish. That definitely didn't happen. Wasn't really able to do much damage from top control because Modafferi was always working to get up, always scrapping. So it was a lot closer fight than I thought it would be, but Sarge got the win. You know what I'm saying? And that's, you know, dope. We'll see where she goes from there. Jason Knight. God, fuck! Motherfucker. I hate this fight. Jason Knight versus Jordan Rinaldi. Bro, Jason Knight was on a 3-fight losing streak. Now he's fighting a guy named Jordan Rinaldi who's definitely dangerous, but he had never beat anyone on the level of Jason Knight, who's younger, more experienced, has 4 wins in the UFC. He's not a fucking world beater. I don't even think he should rank the top 15, but god good damn, he's good enough to get a win. Fucking pulls up that rubber guard, but never is able to get that submission, but you're always hoping, like, damn, let's go Jason Knight. Unfortunate. He tries to get comfortable standing up, and then a motherfucker shoots for a takedown, and then he's stuck on his back because he's really small for the division, I feel. He probably could fight at bantamweight, but I don't know if he's the type of guy that's trying to, you know what I'm saying, live at the weight to where you really have to and cut weight at the highest level. He just seems more like a fan favorite. You know, he's a fighter, but not guy that's going to be, you know, getting a nutritionist and training at the best fight team. I think he might still be training in D'Iberville, Mississippi, unless he's changed his camps recently. But motherfuck, I want to see Jason Knight turn this around. He's one of my favorite fighters, even on a 4-fight losing streak. But I don't know where he goes from here. Does he go to Bellator? Does he fucking stay? Damn, man, I was hoping he really got the win last night. That sucked a big bag of dicks right there. But it is what it is. Congrats to Jordan Rinaldi. Breaking my heart. Adesanya knocked out Derek Brunson. Performance of the night. Showed amazing takedown defense and got the finish ultimately at the end of round 1. There was that moment where Derek Brunson was doing a good job of pressing Adesanya against the fence, actually, forward. I don't know if you recall, Derek Brunson was winning the round before the knockout, buddy. He was doing a good job of, even though he was unsuccessful with his takedown attempts, pressing Adesanya against the fence, controlling the fight in that clinch position, until ultimately, when he was trying to secure a takedown, he started grabbing at Adesanya's pants, and they started, like, sliding off low-key, and he was, yo, ref, my fucking dick's about to fall out. And ref was like, yo, Brunson, let go of his pants. All right, I'm going to take the position away because you're pulling his pants. Don't do it again. This is your warning. Meanwhile, Adesanya's like, fuck you, you pants-pulling, dick-pulling motherfucker. You're going down. You're going to sleep. I'm finishing you. Then he came out and got the job done. So, salute to Adesanya. That was a very impressive win, passed the test. Then we had Marshman versus Roberson. Marshman, a very dangerous fighter. This fight should not have been on the pay-per-view, though. This is one of those, you know what I'm saying? It was a decent fight. This is one of those fights where it's like, all right, if it's going to be on the pay-per-view, you're like, maybe it's going to be a finish or something, like, or a barn burner. That's why they put it here. Like, all right, like, if it's going to be like a Darren Elkins or a Justin Gaethje type barn burner, or just someone you're trying to showcase, I get it. Put him on the pay-per-view. But boy, was this not a very impressive fight. Now, I do believe Carl Roberson sustained an injury early in the fight, but either way. And Jack Marshman's also very tough. I thought Jack Marshman had a chance to win this fight. But it didn't go his way that night. Carl Roberson came in, got the job done via decision. Wasn't very exciting by any means, so not much to cover there, but big win for Carl Roberson. Upset of the night for me, Jared Cannonier defeating David Branch, man. David Branch is a really tough fighter, fought tough guys all the way throughout his career. I mean, he's 2-1 in the UFC since returning, and he even had Luke Rockhold hurt before Rockhold was able to recover. He would have been 3-0 in the UFC with the win over Luke Rockhold and shit. He was supposed to be fighting Jacare, a fight we were really looking forward to, but when Rockhold got injured, Jacare stepped up to fight Weidman, and that made David Branch need a new opponent. Jared Cannonier stepped in to fight him. So, it's interesting because Branch got a short notice opponent, lost the fight, which was, and I thought if Jared Cannonier was going to win, it was going to be a puncher's chance. He was going to be a knockout or a TKO because David Branch has fought higher level throughout his career, higher level competition, inside and outside the UFC, and Jared, he had a lot more fight experience. So there wasn't a lot of ways for Jared Cannonier to really, I felt like, win this fight, except for a potential knockout, and that's exactly how he won the fight in the second round. So that was upset of the night for me. Salute to Jared Cannonier, able to knock out top-ranked David Branch, and now he's fucked around and jumped close to the top 5 of the division. So salute to Cannonier for sure. He looked like a big-ass felony Charles Bennett in there with the hair. He's usually got his shit. He's usually got his hair. Speaking of felony Charles Bennett, Devontae Parker's fighting at UFC Denver, and that fucking kid, that's who he reminded me of on Dana White's Tuesday Night Contender Series. But Cannonier looked like him a little bit, just to me, like a bigger version last night after he got the win and shit. So, side note, but big win for Jared Cannonier. We had the co-main event, Chris Weidman versus Jacare Souza. Holy shit, you guys don't even know how big that win was for Jacare. For one, it was short notice, and he was an underdog, and it was in Madison Square Garden against the All-American Chris Weidman. But for two, you guys don't understand the history Chris Weidman's got with Brazil. You guys don't understand how big that win was for Jacare for Brazil. They probably had a fucking parade and a party and all that shit. All of it. This was huge for Brazil. Damian Maia took the title, dethroned Anderson Silva, snapped his leg in the rematch, beat Lyoto Machida next, also from Brazil, then defended his title against Vitor Belfort. Chris Weidman was on a Brazilian ass-whooping spree in his title reign. Beat Damian Maia and then Mark Munoz to get his title shot. But minus Mark Munoz, he was whooping a bunch of Brazilian ass, and they were talking about championship-level title fights, big fights. It meant a lot. Dethroned fucking Silva. Beat him in the rematch, heartbreaker. Then he beat Machida and Belfort. Now he's got to fight Jacare on short notice. Brazil's been waiting on one of their people to whoop Weidman's ass for so long. It was like, maybe it'll be Paulo Costa. Short notice Jacare, damn, it's short notice, and it's New York. He fucking knocked out Chris Weidman. They're probably still partying. It's Monday. They're probably still partying. That was some big shit for Jacare, man. Big performance. And the judges had Jacare down 2 rounds. A lot of us thought it was 1-1 going into the third round. Judges had Weidman up 2 rounds. So if it would have went to a scorecard, good goddamn well where the decision was going, especially being in Madison Square Garden, New York, Weidman. Jacare had to get the knockout, and boy, did he. Big fucking win for Jacare Ronaldo Souza. Huge win. I mean, that was probably bigger than the title fight for Jacare. It's real close, and it would be awesome to see Jacare get a title fight, but it was fucking close. Jacare is a beast, dog. Jacare showed y'all he still has that fire, bro. Jacare versus Paulo or Stylebender. Yeah, man, or someone closer to the title, man. With a win over Weidman on short notice, stepping up, saving the co-main event, beating Weidman of all people. I think Jacare's probably looking at the winner of Gastelum Whitaker. He's already fought them both. Split decision with Gastelum, not so much with Whitaker. But yeah, man, he could be looking for sure at a potential fight to get him closer to the title, I think. Israel versus Darren would be cool. I would love to see Israel Adesanya versus Darren Till, but I don't think that's the way they're going to be going. And also, that'd be throwing like 2 of your dopest prospects at each other. You know what I'm saying? But with that being said, Main event, Cormier versus Lewis. Picked him up, slammed him down, wore him out, submitted him. I mean, Derek Lewis did land a fucking high kick in that first round that made me go, oh, no shit. That's a big motherfucker to be landing head kicks on Cormier. That could have knocked him out. Boom, show's over. First round, Lewis, head kick KO. It could have been fucking over, dog. I could not believe he landed that motherfucker. But Cormier wasn't rocked. Was not rocked. Managed to get the takedown and dominate the round. 2 takedowns at the end of the first round. Probably 3 minutes of top control. All Lewis had the whole round was that head kick. Round 2, he landed a couple hooks and started charging in, and it was like, oh shit, here he goes again. When round 2 starts, he's oh shit, hook, and he's pressing forward like he might have Daniel, like you might smell blood, like oh shit, maybe one of those hooks connected. He's coming forward. Like, oh, here he goes. And then Cormier takes his ass down, and it's over from there. Controls him, submits him. Good night. Defend the heavyweight title. Still a fun fight. That was UFC 230 over the weekend. With that being said, would be a good time. Since we're done recapping UFC 230, we didn't play this at the beginning of the show. Let's check out UFC Yankovic, a little intermission before we get into this news. Daniel Cormier versus Derek Lewis. Rap Devil. Before this shit's irrelevant. Let's get it. Somebody grab him some chicken. This fucking guy is fat. How the fuck he gonna beat me? And Volkov just put this guy on his back. I hope you know no one is scared of you, especially not DC. And you can call me Daniel Cormier or Double Chips. You know you cannot beat me. And yeah, I'm talking to Lewis. If you want to scrap, we can do this. I know that you're black. I know you're a beast. I know that you're fat and you're stupid. I'm back on my bullshit and lacking my cool. At UFC 230, I'll spaz on this fool. He's not gonna beat me because he's lacking the tools. This nigga can't breathe when he's splashing the pool. No cardio, ho. And it's probably gonna show when I take him down and I beat him up. Cause that's all that I know. They call me Daniel Cormier. I'm coming to defend my title. If he think that he can beat me, then this motherfucker's psycho. Bitch, I'm gone. I'm sick of your bad back and you're still fat. Let's talk about it. I'm sick of you being black and wearing MAGA hats. Let's talk about it. I'm sick of you getting smashed and then coming back. Let's talk about it. Or we can get dirty at UFC 230 and you can get sparked about it. I'm sick of your bad back and you're still fat. Let's talk about it. I'm sick of you being black and wearing MAGA hats. Let's talk about it. I'm sick of you getting smashed and then coming back. Let's talk about it. Or we can get dirty at UFC 230 and you can get sparked about it. Alrighty then, full-time family. We talked a little bit about at the beginning of the show about Mayweather versus Tenshin Nasukawa. That's a fight. It better be a motherfucking boxing match if Floyd Mayweather's not trying to get starched, stiffed, laid out, knocked the fuck out, shoes taken, knife returned. I'm talking Ezell. Debo style. Don't do it to yourself, Floyd. Not against this kid. This Tenshin Nasukawa motherfucker is dangerous. Told you. Knock your ass stiff with the straight left. Knock your ass stiff with the spinning heel kick, a flying knee. Boy, whatever you need. No pun intended. This motherfucker will feed you. So be careful. Been announced. There was even a little face-off. See if we can get some pictures for you guys. Because Mayweather was there. Mayweather versus Tenshin Nasukawa. I don't know why I said it like that. I'm not racist, though. Got the Rizin gloves on. Look at Mayweather with the Rizin gloves. But that's not the picture I'm talking about. Images. There we go. See, these motherfuckers had the whole face off and everything. Little boy Wonder and shit. He's only 20 years old, bro. About to square it off with the $1 billion Floyd. Floyd's got a smile on, but you know good goddamn well he don't like what's going on right now, bro. That's a fake-ass smile. Like, why am I next to this 20-year-old motherfucker? They're gonna give me $5 million to fucking stand here? I don't, like, this ain't no Conor McGregor. This ain't no Manny Pacquiao. You know what I'm saying? He might be over there, but still, nah, they're worldwide. It feels like Floyd Mayweather is showcasing this kid low-key to me. But either way, it's going to be fun. If it's not at 5 in the morning, you know what I'm saying, and I didn't work the night before, I'll tune in. Fuck it, throw Gabby Garcia on the card. Let her smash her grandma. I'll watch that shit. It's grandma bashing time. Let's get it. Alright, so Mayweather, Tenshin Nasukawa, December 31st, New Year's Eve in Japan. But, you know, I won't be watching that. They better not try and compete with PFL, I'll tell you right motherfucking meow. Do not try and compete with PFL, the motherfucking $1 million finals, the crowning of 6 champions, and most importantly, the return of two-time motherfucking Kayla Harrison. Don't miss it. Get your tickets early. I'm telling you, I would watch fucking Kayla Harrison's fight over Mayweather versus Nasukawa any day of the week. Unless it was actual kickboxing, because I know Floyd's going to sleep and you can't miss that. But if it's just some boxing, little light sparring or whatever, I don't know how it's going to go. We'll hear more about it, I'm sure. But I ain't missing PFL 10, 11. I don't give a fuck about the number. I'm not missing PFL, the return of Kayla Harrison, and also the $1 million finals. That's what they should name that shit. The $1 million finale and the return of two-time. I'm just saying, I'd buy. Oh, let's go. Let me pull the chat up. I know y'all liked that. What's going on? PK Boxing and MMA in the building. Fight Companion says Jorge won. Yo, we might do a Rizin fight. Oh, no, PFL, we're 100% doing a Fight Companion. Oh, that's not even a question. I'd do a Fight Companion for PFL 10 if that shit was at 4:04 in the fucking morning, bro. I don't care about the time. I'm setting the alarm. Salute to the full-time wrench squad and peace to the chat. Yo, PK Boxing, what's going on, man? I almost made you. I'm about to give you a wrench, man. I know it's nothing but love with you. You know what I'm saying? People say I got too many wrenches, but I don't think that's possible. Maybe it is. You know what I'm saying? Forward says Kayla Harrison rent incoming. No, it's not. I'm just saying. That's the same night. You picked the wrong night, Floyd. You got some heavy competition. Better be a different time. I'm at Rizin if schedule works out. Oh, okay. Well, yeah, if the schedule, it probably should, because I think these events go down at like 3 in the morning or some shit. So I have to get like some fucking cocaine. No, I'm just kidding. I have to get some Red Bull. I have to do something to stay up that night. My bets got dusted in UFC 230, says Bubba G. Oh, I'm sure a lot of people's did, man. That shit was crazy, bro. Because, let me pull it up. I mean, on my fake money bankroll I do over there on my big, I wasn't super confident in any of these bets this week. My heaviest bet, and it was more of a fun bet, and it was on Jason Knight, because he needed the fucking win. I'm a huge fan. He had a good chance to win. I mean, you know, so I put a pretty big bet on Jason Knight, but not for real cash because I'm broke as fuck. But still, but yeah, I mean, Branch. I don't know if you bet on favorites or not, but Branch was the one that was one of my more confident. I thought he was gonna win for sure. I didn't put no money on him. You know what I'm saying? Because he was a pretty big favorite. But Cannonier upset some people, and then even down here, both of these underdogs, Marshman and Brunson, they had a good chance of winning. So people probably seen value in both of those guys, lost some money there. Fucking Weidman, Madison Square Garden, you probably lost some money there. Yeah, I could see that for sure. Jason Knight, I don't know how big of people are fans of their shit. You could have won some money there if you're not a fan of Jason Knight, like me. I thought there was good value in Modafferi. She got the L. Arce, he was supposed to win fighting in New York. He held a L. Whew. That's a nasty night if you're a gambler. Then there was a draw. There was one fight that got taken off the card. That was going to be a fun fight. I was really looking forward to that fight. But yeah, man. Cannonier looked good, said Bubba G. Was he preparing for a fight, low-key? Did he already have a fight coming up or what? Because he came in short notice and got it done, didn't he? Cannonier used to fight at heavyweight. Ali says, what do you think about Devontae Smith winning this weekend? Oh, I'm big on Devontae Smith. I like him. I don't know about him. Who's he fighting? I like him. He's got a lot of potential, though. I know exactly who you're talking about. That's what I was talking about at the beginning of the show that reminded me of Felony King Cage. He's taking on Julian Erosa. I'll tell you this, bro. Devontae Smith is dangerous. Bro, after his fight on Dana White Tuesday Night Contender Series, epic KO, first round KO, I believe, or was it second round? Either way, he got a KO and earned his contract to the UFC. His only loss is to John Gunther, and that was a fight. He was beating the brakes off of John Gunther, but John Gunther came back and got the W in the third round, kind of like fucking Darren Elkins. But he would be 9-0. But this dude is a character. Very entertaining, good on the mic, hit the dance moves on you while he's winning, and not in the fight, but right after, he's dancing. Like when he would be talking to Joe Rogan in the post-fight interview with Laura Sanko, he was hitting some moves, talking some shit, calling people out. I like this kid a lot. I'm rooting for him. I think he's got and he's only 25 years old. He's dangerous, bro. I'm telling you, he could be 9-0. I like his chances a lot. I'm a big fan of this guy. But I don't know if you're talking about betting. I don't know if there's odds on it. I don't know if he's a big favorite. I don't know. Nothing like that. I just like this guy. Julian Erosa. I broke down last night. I started my predictions. I did do all the way up to the Fox Sports 1 prelims. I finished Yoder. I'll finish the rest of the card probably tonight at work or something. But, yeah, so I like that guy. Julian Erosa says Ayub Ali. All right, so let's move on with the news. We got a report. We'll talk about this first. Conor McGregor wants an immediate rematch or whatever gets him an immediate rematch with Khabib, according to Dana White. Now, he said, we're on the Nevada State Athletic Commission's time now. We're waiting until November or December, whatever that thing is. And I believe it's December 12th. And then when that thing plays out, we'll know where we sit and we'll know what's next. Conor and I talked for an hour last week. Typical Conor, I would love an immediate rematch. I want to fight him again, but I'll fight whoever I got to fight to get back to him if that's not the case. And so, and that's one thing Conor did say in his immediate post-fight reaction, like, when he broke down the fight, not immediately, but after he broke down the fight, and pretty much said that he won. No, when he broke down the fight at the end, he did say he'll fight whoever's next if he can't get that immediate rematch. But Conor McGregor's style, if he loses, he wants it right back. He wants to erase that loss by trying to get an immediate win, but good luck. Not against Khabib, man. It ain't going to be the same. It's definitely not going to be the same story. Nate Diaz is a way better matchup for Conor McGregor than Khabib. And his coach even said that. I mean, after the Diaz fight, when they were breaking it down, he was like, listen, stylistically, if we could handpick an opponent, the perfect style matchup for Conor McGregor, it would be Nate Diaz. A guy that's not going to shoot for takedowns and a guy that takes a lot of shots. That's the perfect matchup for Conor McGregor. Now, it was at 170, but that's a way better matchup for Conor McGregor than Khabib. So that rematch might be a little more wise. You know what I'm saying? That's a good matchup. We can win that one. Khabib, that's not a good matchup. That's a tough fight. We'll need a few rigorous training camps, a few years of wrestling, a few bears to wrestle with, and a couple miracles. I don't know. It's going to be hard for Conor to win the rematch, guys. But we'll move on from that. We know Conor wants the rematch, and so now he's also willing, though. If not the rematch, who would he fight, though? Who would be the fight that gets him there next? I mean, you would think maybe a top contender. Fucking Dustin Poirier, Tony Ferguson. I mean, Nate Diaz is still, he's not ranked in the top 5, so I don't know how close that gets you to a title shot. But I think just with a win, you would get there. But I think Nate Diaz is a guy that's still a lightweight contender. And it's Conor McGregor. So if Conor came back and fought Nate Diaz in a trilogy and could get a win, maybe you could get a rematch. But I think if he really wanted a rematch, he should come back and fight Poirier or Ferguson, one of the top contenders. If you're really trying to get a rematch with Khabib, you fight a top contender, beat a top contender, and that's how you get your title shot. But that definitely might not be the Conor route. Definitely might not be the Conor route. He might fucking fight Floyd Mayweather, He might go join the Tenshin Nasukawa Floyd Mayweather fight, make that bitch a triple threat match, and that might earn him his title shot. You never know. Now, this just broke right before the show as far as me hearing about it. The UFC, I knew about this, Lawler versus Thompson, but now it also report says the UFC is targeting Ben Askren versus Darren Till for the welterweight division. Now, recently we saw Ben Askren calling Darren Till out. Listen, I'll fight that kid in London. I'll go to London and beat him up, when he was putting the UFC on notice. And, I mean, I would love to see that matchup. I don't know where it's going to happen. Both of them have been fighting at 170, but also have fought at, Ben Askren's been fighting at 185, 2-1, but he was kind of retired. But either way, he's more of a natural welterweight. Darren Till having a hard time making welterweight, and he's recently said he's going to move up to 185. So, this fight could happen at 185 or 170. It would be in London, I would guess, if the UFC is going to book this big fight. They did just announce that they're going to be going to London soon. So that's a possibility there. But also, keep in mind that the UFC is, beginning of 2019, their ESPN deal starts. So I believe that's when, we're going to see these fights. I don't think they're going to be on ESPN. I think this one probably will be, from the reports, but I think the UFC London card, I'm not sure. So, but Lawler versus Thompson, that's a great matchup that I've wanted to see personally for a long time. Since Lawler was the champion, man, we've been talking about this fight and the potential, and Thompson was the #1 contender when Lawler was the champion, and if Robbie Lawler would have beat Tyron Woodley that night, we would have seen this fight. It would have been a title fight. Wonderboy might have been a damn champion. I mean, I don't know who's going to win this fight, but I feel like this is not a great matchup, because Robbie Lawler's, a great fighter, so he's not a great matchup for anybody, but a better matchup for Wonderboy than like a Tyron Woodley. You know what I'm saying? I feel like Robbie Lawler, known more as a brawler, he's going to come forward at you, try and bang with you. That's what Wonderboy loves. You come at Wonderboy, good fucking luck. He's going to pick you apart on the outside and just bang out, blitz in, probably knock you out. So in my opinion, I think this is a favorable matchup for Wonderboy Thompson. And so if Robbie Lawler would have beat Woodley, Wonderboy could have been the champion if he fought Robbie. But, man, boy, did Tyron Woodley upset all of those plans. Not only did he beat Robbie that night, and so Wonderboy had to fight him, but then he beat Wonderboy twice. Once was a draw. Second fight was a decision for Woodley. But either way, now we might see this fight later on. Lawler coming back, Thompson, both of these guys still top contenders in the division. Still, I believe, a good fight. Because with Stephen Thompson, the thing is, if you get a guy that's not going to play his game, and if you get a guy that's not going to just come forward and brawl, it can really be a boring fight. It can be a chess match. You know what I'm saying? We've seen that with Darren Till. We've seen it with Tyron Woodley. I mean, really, in any Stephen Thompson fight where someone doesn't come forward, it's not usually the most exciting fight. Now, when he fought Masvidal, he came forward a little bit. I like that in Wonderboy, but Masvidal, I feel like, is a little undersized for the division, but he's definitely not making 155 again, I believe, unless he gets a great payday. He's talked about that, but he would like 165. So either way, it is what it is. I think this would be a great fight whenever it happens. It's being targeted for early 2019, according to Chris Taylor. He says, this just in. Per multiple sources close to the situation, the UFC is targeting the following 2 welterweight bouts for early 2019. Stephen Thompson versus Robbie Lawler, and Ben Askren versus Darren Till. Neither fight has been officially signed, but that is the intention. So with that being said, we'll see. I do believe Till versus Askren, if it does happen, probably would headline that London card. Ben Askren called him out for London, so we'll see. We'll see, though. That's not always the case. If it's a Fight Pass card, definitely not the case. I don't know if it's going to be Fight Pass or ESPN or where pay-per-view. I don't know where that's going to happen, but if it's Fight Pass, don't expect it, right? But with that being said, we'll move on from that. Those are 2 fights that I'm looking forward to. Let's see. Bada Jr. is back. R.I.P. Man Bun Kells. Yo, Bada Jr., where you been, my man? Long time no see. R.I.P. Man Bun Kells. MMA Bud says the family is growing. We need a new sub goal. Oh, shit. Is the sub goal? Oh, yeah, because my live sub goal stopped working. Good call, good call. I got to do an 8,000 sub, like, Q&A, too. I'll probably post that after work, just because I usually do that every 1,000 subs. So, yeah, man. Good call, MMA Buzz. I got to update that. Jorge One says, she lost a lot of fan support Saturday. She's about to be a booed fighter. Yeah, I think... I hear what you're saying, but I think Sarge is going to be a fighter that people tune in even if they want to see her lose. You know, because I agree. There's not many people that are on the Sarge bandwagon, especially after that performance. It wasn't a dominant performance. So she's just another fighter, and she's one of the girls who doesn't have the greatest record, but she's still at the top of the division. So it's a weird place, but she's not. I don't think she's was gonna get much fan support. Honestly, I mean, ideally, that's not, you know what I'm saying? Just from coming off the tough show, I don't know. There's not a lot of people who knew who she is, and so there's a lot of things going on with Sijara Eubanks. But after that performance, and one thing that wasn't really pointed out, well, I did on the Fight Companion, but I was looking forward to her interaction with Joe Rogan, right? That was another thing. And remember Colby Covington did the same thing, and it's funny putting her in the same conversation with Colby Covington, but hell, shoot. She's definitely not Colby Covington, but as far as polarizing is concerned, I could draw a comparison. You know, some people like Sarge, but I think there's a lot more people that don't at this point. Some people like Colby Covington, but there's a lot more people that don't at this point. You know what I'm saying? There's that. But I think she is somebody that you would tune in to see lose. Like, all the people that have been giving Sarge shit, like, oh, you fucking missed weight, and fucking you didn't confront Joe, and fucking all of this stuff. All the reasons, the social media, whatever reason that, if you're one of those people that you choose to not like Sarge, that's going to make you tune in to say, what if she fights Jessica Eye next? Caitlin Chukagian's her teammate. I don't know if they're going to fight. They might. They fought in the past. But I don't know if they'll fight again now that they're teammates. Interesting. But if she fought Jessica Eye or even Valentina Shevchenko, like, let's say Shevchenko, I think a lot of people would tune in to watch Shevchenko beat up Sarge. Honestly. I think there would be a lot of people. But maybe not. But I think she's definitely became polarizing because there's a lot of people talking about Sarge. Even if it's people complaining and hating on her and talking about Fook, Eubanks, and all of that, you guys are at least eliciting an emotion, and there's a lot of fighters you don't even care about. So Sarge is at least getting you to care, even if it's not the love. So salute to Sarge. She got the W, you know what I'm saying? I'm not a Sarge hater. She did her thing. I don't think she was wrong accepting that title fight. She didn't have a great performance. I think she needed a better performance if she was going to win over any fans last night. She needed to dominate that fight, which she did not do. So yeah, but I don't feel any certain type of way about Sarge, honestly. Sijara Eubanks playing the heel, says Benji. You might be onto something there. I don't know if she's playing the heel, but she's definitely a good heel at this point. She's definitely doing a good job of it, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, kind of like the Colby Covington thing. You might be onto something there, Benji. Exactly, Stamina. Keep that same energy, says Forward. Yep, Benji. Even she doesn't realize it. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think she's playing the heel, but she is a heel. I think. I don't think she's gonna get a whole lot of fan support. You know, there's not gonna be a lot of people like defending her. Like, there's not really much to grasp onto, honestly. Like, unless you're like just related to Sijara Eubanks, like, or you know what I'm saying, like a diehard Sarge fan. What is she really giving you to say? No, but look at this. You know, so it is what it is. Either way, I'll tune into her next fight. You know, she's definitely on everyone's radar, I think. Even Joe Rogan. People know who Sarge is. And that's definitely worth something, whether they hate it or love it. Cormier blast Jon Jones. You were on steroids. Who are you to grant me anything? Yo. Oh, this is interesting. I've been waiting on DC to do this, and now that he's doing it, I'm like, holy shit. I don't know if, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's been a while, ever since he lost to Jon Jones, and even after Jon Jones failed the drug test and the fight was overturned, DC still never really came after Jon Jones as hard as he could have about these steroids. Like, listen, motherfucker, I've beat everybody I've ever fought, even some motherfuckers on steroids. The only reason you beat me is because, yeah, you're very talented and you got great skills, but also because you're on fucking steroids. So, I'll beat your ass anytime you want to fight me clean. Call me, send me location, whatever you want to do. I'll fuck you up. You pop for steroids, homie. Like, I've been waiting for him to just let him know, like, I'm the GOAT. You're the only person that's ever beat me, and you failed multiple drug tests, my nickel. You know what I'm saying? Give me, But it took Jon Jones to bring up DC's family for him to really start hammering home on this shit. He said something about, even your wife knows you still think about me at night. Like, motherfucker, did you just bring up my fucking wife? You old dickhead, cokehead, dick pill, motherfucking steroid head looking boy. What? Bro, I've been taking it easy on you. Did you just put my fucking wife in a tweet? You fucking bitch, you. That's really what set it off for Daniel Cormier. Because ever since then, he's been letting him know, listen, you're on fucking steroids. He's not holding back anymore. And so now he's on his motherfucking head. And Daniel Cormier said, giving me a shot. He said, seriously, giving me a shot, here's the deal when it comes to Jones. It's hard for me to really take anything seriously because you say, I don't want to give you a shot, and you don't deserve it. I beat you. He said he knocked me out, which he did. And you guys know I've always said he won the fight. He won. He once put like a video up of a little girl kicking a girl in the head, and I said, look, man, she set that kick up perfect. But you were on steroids, dog. You can't use that same thing. And good point. And that was a little social media exchange you guys might or might not be aware of back in the day. Whenever Daniel Cormier was saying he was on Jon Jones, he was like, listen, I predicted how it was going to knock you out. And then he showed a clip of a little girl, like, throwing a high kick, against a bully. It was like a school fight. Some girl was getting bullied, and she threw a high kick and fucking knocked this girl out. And he was like, yeah, she was on steroids too, right? And he was like, no, that was actually a really good head kick from her. But you were on steroids. So that's what he's saying. He said, for him to say, I don't think he deserves a title shot or I'm not going to grant him, who are you to grant me anything? I'm the guy that's been here this whole time. 3 years I've been the light heavyweight champion because this dude can't stay out of trouble. This dude actually got in so much shit that they just said, here, DC, you can have the belt back. Last year after he knocked me out, like, seriously, how crazy must the guy that won be for them to go, hey, man, you can just have this back, seriously, because we know with you, shit's safe. That shit's safe in San Jose with you. It's safe. But with this dude, like, we don't know what he's going to do. So they just gave it back. So these guys, man, this is probably, I can't think of a greater one, man. For me, if it's definitely, if it wasn't before, it's eclipsing it now. Can you think of a greater rivalry in MMA? I mean, Rampage Rashad comes to mind for me. Silva Chill. But boy, I mean, this Jon Jones-Daniel Cormier rivalry might be the greatest fucking rivalry in mixed martial arts of all time. I'm thinking back even all the way to Ken Shamrock and, Royce Gracie, but maybe it's because we weren't in those times. You tell me, is there a better rivalry for you guys than DC Jon Jones and MMA? I mean, it's just so epic for me. Bubba G says, you think DC could beat Jones if DC juice? Fuck yeah. DC on the juice coming in looking like Brock at heavyweight? Fuck out of here. Oh, yeah, I think so. Maybe. I mean, yeah, I think so. I think, yeah. Or if Jon Jones came in looking like he did against against OSP. Fuck yeah. Jones won, and it was not because of what he popped for, says Dennis Espinosa. That's debatable. He definitely won, and he predicted it. He called his shot. But there's some people that would argue, including George St. Pierre. He said, people say that a kick can't be enhanced by a steroid. Yeah, it can. It can make the kick more powerful. It can make you more confident to throw the kick in the fight. It can make you more reactive. So it could have, but, I don't know. That's arguable. I think there's some DC fans that would argue otherwise, but USADA, I believe, according to Jon Jones, and I'm looking for the official quote, but he said that USADA even said that the trace elements that were found in his system, it was like, a grain of salt in an Olympic-sized swimming pool. It couldn't have helped me knock out Daniel Cormier. But hey, it is what it is. Bubba G says Rip DC beats everything. That's what I'm thinking. Just Rip DC? Are you kidding me? Bro, Rip DC would run through the UFC like, you know what I'm saying? Like Bruce Lee would run through a motherfucker in a movie. Like, he would just run through the UFC. He would probably be powerbombing people in the UFC, like real-life WWE wrestling moves. Slamming suplexes. I'm talking jackhammers. Hold him up in the air for 10 seconds. And then like, seriously. DC with abs is fucking everything up. Not what I'm saying, says Dennis Espinosa. The time frame was short for what he popped to have any effect. Yeah, see, I'm not a steroid expert. When I hear, this is just how my mind works. I'll just be honest with you. You might be 100% right, Dennis Espinosa. I'm just saying, I hear a term like microdosing, and I'm assuming that means that they're getting effects from trace elements. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and you hear people talking about, and so I'm just a fan. So I'm not an expert on PEDs to say that it did affect him. But whenever I hear performance-enhancing drugs, and you hear other fighters like GSP and Khabib speak on the situations, and just other fighters, I mean, and the rumors, and I don't know. I feel like, from my limited knowledge of, hearing the word microdosing and what I imagine that to mean, which is, I imagine, you know what I'm saying, you're taking like a little bit at a time to help you perform, but not enough to stay in your system, so you still have the effects, but you can't really trace it. That's what I assume is going on with a lot of people that get popped, unless they get cleared by USADA. But I'm not an expert. That's just my fucking ignorant opinion as a fan. Dennis Espinosa says, and it looks like trace elements that were found were from erection male enhancement pill. That was the first failed drug test. That was the first one. That one was the one that was dick pills. But this is the thing. I'll counter on that one, Dennis Espinosa. On the first failed drug test, it was a dick pill, he said. But what happens when you get popped by USADA is, so you fell for some substance. And let's say, we'll just use the word clomiphene, because I think that's one of the ones that he failed for. And it's interesting because he also failed for the same, at UFC 200 when they said it was dick pills, he failed for the same steroid that one of the same steroids, or one of the same, not steroids, or estrogen blocker, whatever it was. One of the same things was found in Jon Jones's test that caused him to fail. That was found in Brock Lesnar's test. That was found in Anderson Silva's test. So they could all be on dick pills, but like Cam Murphy pointed out, a lot of people are on dick pills because the steroids make your dick not work. So the steroids make your dick not work. When you're taking steroids, you got to take estrogen blockers and you got to take dick pills a lot of the times. Because for one, you want to counter the estrogen blockers so you don't grow man boobs. And then you take dick pills because the steroids make your dick not work. So people that are on steroids, a lot of the times take estrogen blockers and dick pills. Just a fact that I wanted to point out. For two, on the failed drug test, okay, they say you failed for this substance. They find some dick pills, or the dick pills that he said he was taking, and they send them in. That's the failed substance. Okay, you get a pass. Second failed drug test comes around. You fell for a banned substance. This time, you don't have any dick pills, or any. He sent 14 supplements back to USADA to test. 14 different things. Here, I was taking all this shit. Here's 14 things that I was taking. See if any of these 14 supplements were tainted. None of them were tainted. So Jon Jones never found out which one of his supplements were tainted. So he's already got to be super clean with what he's putting in his body. Now he's taking 14 supplements. None of them came back dirty. So where did the failed drug test come from? And so that also makes me kind of look at this first drug test. Well, maybe this time you fail a drug test for, let's say, clomiphene. You go to Google and you type in what can cause a failed drug test for clomiphene. blue rhino dick pills, and you go, hey, USADA, I was taking blue rhino dick pills. Go test them. They have clomiphene. That could have happened. Because in the second situation, they weren't able to find anything that tested positive. So there's really no explanation as to how he failed that test. And the only explanation we got as to why he's coming back, according to USADA, is actually, they say he had to provide some substantial assistance in helping clean up the sport, essentially the snitching clause. So to come back this time, it's not like they found a contaminated supplement and said, oh, this is the thing that he popped for. He had to tell on somebody. He couldn't find out what was contaminated. We don't know how that got in Jon Jones' system. There's no science that says Jon Jones actually had no performance-enhancing drug in his system. They didn't find the contaminated supplement. Somehow it got in his system. USADA can't explain it. They don't understand it. It doesn't make much sense to them. That's why they don't believe he has much fault, because it was such a micro level. But he still had to snitch to get out of that. And how did that micro level get in there? Maybe, who knows? Who knows? But yeah. I mean, that's devil's advocate. So, Conspiracy Gamer says you don't even know when he popped. Got caught again in his last fight. Who don't know when he popped? He popped at UFC 200, and he popped in his last fight. He popped at UFC 200. That's why he didn't get the fight. Got pulled off the card. Daniel Cormier instead fought Anderson Silva. That's when he popped. Same night Brock Lesnar popped, but Brock Lesnar stayed on the card and fought and didn't pop till after the fight. That was the first one, which was the dick pills. And then the second one was UFC 214. He fought, knocked out Daniel Cormier, then popped for in competition after the fight, which caused it to be overturned. Also, the first fight was before USADA. The first win. Their first win. The first UFC 200, he didn't get to fight. That wasn't a fight. But Jon Jones versus Daniel Cormier, the first fight was before USADA. And just another point to the case on the DC side. Jon Jones only has 2 fights since USADA came in the picture. He's only got 2 fights. All of Jon Jones' reign was before USADA. USADA came into the picture. Jon Jones fought Ovince St. Preux. Everybody talked about that performance, about how bad he looked. Was it ring rust? Was it ring rust? We don't know. Okay, Jon Jones is back, but he didn't look great against OSP. First fight after USADA. Then Daniel Cormier, he looks great, but he fails his drug test. So the only fight Jon Jones has not failed a drug test for post-USADA is the fight that he didn't look great in against Ovince St. Preux. So, I mean, it's looking like a duck and it's quacking like a duck. You know what I'm saying? It's definitely quack, 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 quack. But Jon Jones, you got to give, it's weird because he's got the skills. We've seen him grow up in the sport, so we love this kid as much as we can. You know what I'm saying? Even though he lets you down, but it's like, damn, we like this guy. We love his fighting style a lot more than Daniel Cormier's. You know what I'm saying? It's just unfortunate. It's unfortunate. Okay, so yeah, but yeah, so Daniel Cormier, and now he's really on it. You know what I'm saying? And all that conversation is had because, you know why? You know why the reason we're having this conversation? I hear what you're saying. I hate this topic too, man. Stamina MC said, God, I hate this topic. I do too. The only reason we're having it now is because now DC's blasting his ass at every media fucking event. Bro, you were on steroids. Why are you still talking shit? And DC was not stooping to this level. He was not starting this conversation. He wasn't doing it until Jon Jones brought his wife into this on Twitter. You know, DC was, even after the knockout, was not saying shit about steroids. Fuck it, I've beat people that were on steroids before. That's not why Jon Jones beat me. Like, seriously. Even after he got knocked out and embarrassed, he didn't blame steroids. It wasn't until you brought up this man's family, his wife specifically, whenever you said, oh, it's not like he attacked her, personally. He just said, I'm sure your wife knows that you still dream about me. It wasn't until he brought up the word wife that DC really started going this way. So, it is what it is, man. But yeah, so DC blasting Jon Jones. We'll move on now. Israel Adesanya reveals an injury he suffered ahead of the Derek Brunson win. He said it was 2 days. I was 2 days away from pulling out. So he's pretty much saying I was 30%, but in better words. You know what I'm saying? He said, I almost pulled out of this fight. Like literally 3 days, maybe 2 days away from pulling out of this fight. I was limping. You can ask Dan Hooker and the people at my gym. I had the baddest. I'll post a video so it makes sense. My knee was so inflamed. Shout out to my dad. My dad was a smart one in this one. He said, take a week off. So we took a week off, and we'll see how we feel. And then we make the call. Within 3 days, my knee was getting better. Then I had a cortisone shot like 4 days later. I checked with USADA, the golden snitch. They said, yeah, it's cool. 3 days, and it was already feeling better. Then I got back to the gym and started killing. Damn, that would have been so shitty, bro, if he had to pull out of this fight. Holy crap. He said, I'm going to have surgery to take away whatever injury it was. I'm going to take some time off and really enjoy myself and soak it all in, and I'm coming back stronger. So all of you middleweights, stay ready because I'm staying ready. He said, as far as fighting injured, he says, I've fought injured many times for so many years. I'm being a lot smarter and a lot more proactive. Also, I'm 29. I'm just about to hit my prime. When I was younger, I'd fight with broken. I'm good at that. I have to be smart now. This is the UFC. This is the big leagues. But I get itchy knuckles and itchy feet real quick. So if I sit around for too long, then I'm fucking around on Instagram, posting SpongeBob and Squidward. I was so bored. I get really aggravated if I don't train, if I don't get that testosterone out. So I'll see. Sometimes I get the itchy feet and itchy knuckles. We'll see what happens. Yo, this kid is full of fucking quotables. He's also like, uses all the new fucking slang, clout chasing and all that shit. Itchy feet, itchy knuckles. Like, all that shit, man. This kid is legit. And the fighting is legit too. And now he's revealing that he fucking fought Derek Brunson pretty much injured, you know, but all fighters do fight with injuries. No, you know, no excuses, like, but it's just something he's pointing out. And he said they're going to post a video showing how bad his knee was. But that cortisone shot definitely helps a lot, you know what I'm saying? So even though he was injured, he probably wasn't feeling it too much, at least for during the fight, the injury, but fought with a little bit of an injury. Conspiracy Gamer was hidden by Jorge 1. I'll bang right in front of you, only twice though. I'm scared of you see me the third time. What's he in here talking about? Hey, Dennis. Oh shit, Conspiracy Gamer in here on Dennis. What you talking about? Oh yeah. He's you know, just take it a little easy, Conspiracy Gamer. I know you weren't like getting racist or anything, but I mean getting a little wild, you know what I'm saying? Talking about, you know, it's not necessary calling people out of their names to have a debate about MMA. Calling people out of their names, people of the family, that's, you know what I'm saying? Not necessary, man. But still, you know what I'm saying? I know you are somebody that comes through and supports the show as far as you watch the show and everything, Conspiracy Gamer. But yeah, man, it's not necessary to attack people like that if they disagree with you, brother. Ever Loves Drugs says, Israel's my new favorite up and coming. Yeah, man, he looked fucking great last night. I said his fight versus Brad Tavares was like his high school finals. He passed that test with flying colors. And this test last night was like his fucking like ACT, right? He just passed it. Now it's time. He's a legit top contender. He's a legit middleweight title contender. Could be fighting for the title after this, if not after this fight, his next fight. He's legitimately somebody you got to be concerned about, definitely, even if you're a top middleweight in the world. Pyrotechniques, yo, full time. What's going on? Another one bites the dust, another one bites the dust, and another one, and another one. Ever Loves Drugs with the music. Yo, speaking of the music, we just talked about Jon Jones versus Daniel Cormier, low-key, so we're going to have a little intermission. I know we talked about Derek Brunson and Israel Adesanya after that. Let's have a little intermission, man. Let's check out UFC Yankovic. We'll get back to the news right after this. A few more topics to talk about. Or we should have had a simp segment right here. But you know what? We'll have a simp segment after the next topic, probably. Maybe. Maybe not. But I do want to play this. Jon Jones, Daniel Cormier. Because like I said, to me, this is one of the greatest rivalries in MMA of all time. I don't know if any of you can think of a better one. Let me know in the chat. You guys, what's your favorite MMA rivalry of all time? Man, I promise I've been getting sick of this motherfucker. Crackhead, dick pill ass looking boy. I'm about to have to serve him up. Hey, give me a number. Make sure you subscribe to UFC Yankovic if you haven't yet. Jon Jones in love with the cocoa. He shoot that shit right through his nose. Then he sandblast all the hoes. Blast the bitches. Jon Jones in love with the coco. Jon Jones is a bitch. Jon Jones got limp dick. Or is it just them steroids, ho? Anywhere you see some coke, you see Jon Jones. Look, there he go. There he is, ho. Gusserson beat you fucking crackhead. Had you in the hospital, snapping pics, looking half dead. And that first fight was a fluke. Oh shit, I ate too much. I think I'm about to puke. Daniel Cormier loves ho-hos. Cake, chicken, Snickers, Reese's bars, and them Rolos. Yeah. This fat bitch can't get no hoes, cause he done stretched out all his old clothes. Yeah. I'm about to come take Fatty's belt at the press conference, looking at me like I'm a patty melt. I'm human, bro. So somehow I hope you make the weight. I ain't going for that shit that you pulled off at Towel Gate. Fat bitch. Yeah, what is going on, full-time family? Throwback. That was for before Daniel Cormier and Jon Jones, the rematch. Benji in the building says nobody stays undefeated in the UFC. Not even Khabib if he sticks around. I hear you, brother. Nobody. Nobody's getting out of this thing undefeated if they keep fighting. There's nobody. I'm 100% with you. No fucking buddy. Everybody's not in the UFC. Not unless they start taking. There's not fights. You can't. There's not enough easy fights. At the top level, anybody can beat anybody. Nobody's dominating everyone. Tyron Woodley might have something to say about that. He's fucking everybody up right about now. GSP might have something to say about that when he was in his reign. But undefeated, not in MMA, brother. What the fuck was I about to pull up? Oh yeah, somebody just hit subscribe. Yo, Hoon Dang, thank you very much for hitting subscribe and joining the full-time family. Good sir, much appreciated. If you understand that. I know my videos have been showing up a lot, like in the analytics, like countries way the fuck that don't make no damn sense. So might just be somebody that enjoys the show. So thank you very much, good sir. But with that being said, speaking of Israel Adesanya, we talked about him a little bit. Dana White came out in the post-fight press conference and says he said he's a guy that has been on the rise for a minute, but I really felt like tonight was his first big test. His opponent hits like a truck, wrestles really well in Madison Square Garden, opening the show. Man, did he deliver. Many people, including me, think this kid's the future, and he went on out and put a stamp on it tonight. Man, prospects always do a lot better when Dana White's not behind them, right? Like the people, it feels like whenever he gets behind someone, they never pan out. Like when he was behind Cynthia Calvillo, she was looking great, and then she lost that damn split decision, unfortunately, and popped from weed. And he was behind Ngannou, and then he lost, and then, you know what I'm saying? Like whenever Dana White gets behind someone, it always makes me go, no. You know what I'm saying? Cody Garbrandt a little bit felt like he had a little bit of a push. But it is what it is. This kid, he's got some serious skills, and he's got a lot of star power. He's a guy that does great media, talks trash, sells fights, entertaining style, entertaining in the fights. I mean, anything you could want, this kid is good at. I think he's very fucking marketable. Got a lot of potential to be a big star. There's gonna be a lot of people that don't like him. For one, because he's a trash talker, and for two, because he's black. Just kidding. Not taking it there. But no, he's definitely a polarizing figure. There's going to be a lot of people that love him and a lot of people that find I don't like him. He's cocky. He's A lot of people that want to see him lose. A lot of people that want to see him lose that zero. A lot of people that makes for an even bigger potential star, I think. Someone that people care to see win and someone that people care to see lose. And this kid has it all. Great with the media. Great with social media, selling fights. Like, this kid has it all. So, bright future ahead for Israel Adesanya, I believe, with or without the backing of Dana White. So, with that being said, we'll move to the next topic, and we definitely might need a simp segment after this one. Just kidding. Cyborg on her game plan for Amanda Nunes. She said, "I'm the pressure." They had the UFC 232 press conference in Vegas on last Friday. She said, "I train for everything. I have 5 rounds. I watch a couple fights with Amanda, and I know she likes to do pressure, but she doesn't like when fighters put pressure on her. I'm the pressure. She puts her best punch on me. I'm going to be the pressure. She's going to feel that." Oh, shit, son. She said she's going to test Amanda Nunes' cardio. She's saying, man, I got 5 rounds in me. This girl ain't got great cardio, and so she might try and take it easy, but I'm going to pressure her. I'm the pressure. You can't take it easy with me. I'm going to force you to work. I'm going to force you to test that gas tank. I'm going to put that pressure on your crayante ass, says Cris Cyborg. Well, she didn't say that exactly. That was my spin on it, but man, can't wait for UFC 232. She says, "We don't have any problem. Just accept the fight with her, when I fight Holly Holm, and she asked for 9 months for training for this fight. And I think when you're calling somebody out, you have to be ready. Not 9 months to be ready." And that's a good point. Like, you're going to call me out for 9 months from now? If we're both healthy and we're both fighters and you want to fight, let's get this shit done ASAP. Boom, boom, boom. I'm ready to smash you tomorrow. Next month, we can do it in Dallas. We can do it fucking Brazil's having a fight night. I whoop your ass on a fight night. I whoop your ass on a small pay-per-view. You want me to wait till the end of the year to bust your ass? Like, that's a weird call out, sweetie. You gonna call me out and then also pick the date. You know, she's got a good point. Cyborg for sure. She says, "The first thing UFC called me and my manager for a fight, Amanda, September 8th. Another thing was the fight on 3 weeks' notice for Amanda in July. And then nothing happened. I accepted to fight her in September 8th after she called me out 6 months before the fight. She said no. I signed a deal to fight December. You're not fighting. I have no other options but to train and wait and do bad baby videos." Well, shit, she ain't got nothing else to do. Fuck it. Yo, I wonder how that came about. Yo, Cyborg, you ever heard of Bad Baby? No? Cash Me Outside. How about that? A little bit. You don't remember? Cash Me Outside, the little white girl, Cash Me Out. Oh, yeah. Well, now she's doing... I don't know. That's just funny to me. But either way, she ain't got nothing better to do. She can't fight. Fuck it. Pop up in a music video. Fucking leaning like a cholo with a bunch of teeny boppers. That shit was funny. "Let's do this," says Cyborg. "Let's see. You need 9 months to train for that. Keep work hard and make sure you'll be there, because last time you pull out before fights. Make sure you're going to be there. I believe you when you're in the cage. Be in the cage and close the door. I know you're going to be there. I hear this story before to wait and then don't fight." So, Cyborg letting it be known at the press conference she's not even confident that Amanda Nunes is going to show up. You know, she's had a history of sinusitis, which... that's actually facts. You know, I don't believe she was scared of Valentina. I never did, not even for a fucking second. I still don't. Never did. Before the fight, go back, check it out. I said, there's no way you can convince me that somebody is scared of somebody that they already fought and already beat. Not only did she already fight her, but she already beat her. And a lot of people say, oh, it was a robbery. I don't know about that. I don't know about that. Go back and watch the fight. First and second round, I'm pretty sure we're Nunez's. Did she start to slow down in the third? Sure, but if you don't finish her, you can't just win the third round and win a fight. So, won the first fight. She's the champion since then. She's made money. Like, she's, you know, and champions do that. It's weird. Because I guarantee you, a lot of the motherfuckers that said Amanda Nunes was scared and ducking Valentina, none of them have said shit about Rose and Jessica. And I'm going to leave that alone. You know what I'm saying? Because y'all know how I feel on that topic. And I don't think she's scared of her. But I think a lot of champions, once they get the belt, they go on a world tour and they, you know, prepare themselves for potentially life after champion. You know, they get they get some sponsorships and they go on vacation and they want to hit a couple holidays and take pictures with the belt. Christmas, they want to take pictures with the belt. They want to hit Thanksgiving with the belt. You know, maybe Valentine's Day. Either way, motherfuckers want to do the holidays with the belt, you know, for all their photo ops. And I get it. And so they get the belt and they take some time off. But that ain't the fucking case with Amanda Nunes. But I will say this. I'll call this out just because I'm thinking about it. I hadn't even thought about it before now. It just came to my head. There's a lot of people that call it Amanda Nunes scared. One of the best fucking bantamweights of all time with a proven resume. People are acting like Rose is just fucking got Joanna's legacy. They act like she beat Joanna and stole her legacy. Like she cleared out the division. No. Like there's no even possible way she could be prolonged. Like there's no even not. I don't know. It's just interesting to me how many people were on Nunes' head for, and she had a history of sinusitis, by the way. It wasn't her first time. It's not like her sinuses came out of nowhere. There was a fight in the past that there was not even a thought that she was scared of that fight, but she had an issue with her sinuses. I did a video on this in the past. There was a history of sinusitis with Amanda Nunes, but everyone wanted to say she was scared. Amanda Nunes is scared. But nobody could possibly be scared of Andrade or ducking at all. Okay, I get it. Whatever. That's the type of shit that makes me a fan of a fighter, bro. Like, that's making me more of a fan of Jessica Andrade. I low-key want to go back and watch her whole fight fucking discography. I need to get Fight Pass again. Once I get this paid, bro, this shit has been chopping in my... I'm telling y'all, I'm going to get fight... Like, that's the type of shit. Whenever I had Fight Pass, I did that with Kevin Lee and a few other fighters. Darren Till, a few other fighters. Like, once I'm like really on you, like I go back and watch all of your fights. I want to do that shit with Jessica Andrade because she was getting wins at fucking bantamweight. She figures out how to cut down to 115 pounds, and she's just dominating every single person she's fought in the division except Joanna. And by the way, she was injured going into the Joanna fight. Found that out not too long ago. There was facts. Go back, do your fucking research. Her only fight she lost at strawweight was to Joanna, and she was injured. Every other fight, she's dominated. Just knocked out Karolina Kowalkiewicz with probably the most dominant fucking one-punch KO in WMMA history at any fucking division. I'm talking one-punch KO. And I don't give a fuck if you're talking featherweights. Please find me a Cyborg knockout. It's probably out there. Wasn't over a top contender like this, clearly. But please show me a more dominant, brutal WMMA knockout than what we just saw from Jessica Andrade. Please, somebody. But no, it's impossible. Anybody could be ducking this fucking dominant-ass female. Mini Cyborg, who earned the nickname from Cyborg herself. Everybody knows people are ducking Cyborg, but it's not possible people are ducking Mini Cyborg. Okay. By the way, Rose also has an RV. I don't know what has to do it. She be out there. She was on Chael Sonnen's podcast talking about, going out mountain backpacking. Got the RV out, growing. I don't know if they grow weed. I'm pretty sure they're getting into the weed industry somehow. I don't think she's got her own weed strain, but Rose did an interview at, I think, Women's Health where she was talking about growing weed and biting bagels, all type of shit. Facts. That's not even a joke, by the way. Literally, like, it was like, oh, and her favorite snack is bagel bites. I'm like, oh, this couldn't have been better. That's crazy. Bagel bites? I forgot about those things. But hey, it is what it is. I'll let you guys call it. But Cyborg talking about pressuring Amanda Nunes. We'll move on. We got one or two more topics to talk about before we got to get to work. But I do want to pull up the chat because I'm sure I probably pissed some people off with that little epitaph. Let's see. Pyrotechnique says the crowd was behind Cyborg. Good to see that. Will Cash Me Out really train, says Dennis Espinoza. Yo, I think that's really Cyborg. I think after she figured out, like, who she was in the music video with, and that fucking little bad baby bitch probably annoyed her so fucking much, and she was probably disrespecting Cyborg, thinking she was hot shit. She disrespects her mom. You think she's not gonna disrespect fucking Cyborg, who she doesn't know? She probably don't know much about the UFC. None of that shit. She don't know about Cyborg's WMMA history and what she means to WMMA. She don't know none of that. She just thinks it's some Brazilian chick that's coming to be in her music video. She's probably like, why this bitch got stand? She probably like a female skinny version of Cartman on that motherfucking that music set. Probably pissed Cyborg off. You know what, bad baby? How about you come fucking train a little bit? But cracker ass. Give her some headgear though. Yeah! Oh, I'm sorry, sweetie. Didn't mean to fucking throw it that hard. She's out. Amanda looked like a little kid next to Cyborg, says Jorge won. Yeah, that's a tough fight she's got ahead of her. Chris wearing tall heels. Nunes was not, said Dennis Espinoza. Yeah, there was some. I think someone pointed that out. Good call, Dennis Espinoza. I think Cyborg might have had heels on. But either way, yeah, she's definitely the bigger fighter. Thickness, says Jorge won. Walking around weight difference must be huge. This topic again. Hoorah, says Stamina MC. Stamina's got some topics he just does not like. Jorge one says, I love Cyborg and Amanda. I don't think my boy Stamina MC, I don't think he's a big fan of Jessica Andrade. But I'm just fucking you. I know a lot of people. She's not a fan favorite. She might be in Brazil, but I know she's not the most popular fighter amongst American and UK fans, and so that's definitely not a popular stance that I take on Jessica Andrade. But I don't care, man. I'm just a fucking fan calling it how I see it, and I know Jessica Andrade is a motherfucking beast. Facts. Dutch Dog Black Cloud says, I say Amanda scared of Cyborg and rows of windows. Yo, the jokes. That's crazy. Clayton Funky says, Kayla Harrison, non-PED body, Cyborg. Whoa, we're getting into the PED conversation. The difference is obvious. Cyborg disforms, he says. Clayton Funk. That's an opinion some people's have, but I don't give Cyborg no shit for that, man. Cyborg failed, and I think it was for a diuretic one time outside. Well, when she failed in the UFC, I believe it was for the diuretic, but it was approved by USADA. She was cleared when she failed in the UFC. She failed one time in her entire career outside of the UFC, and there's a lot of fighters that have done that. So I don't really hold that against. You know what I'm saying? You can't hold it any more against Cyborg than you can a lot of these other shit, even former champions like a Jon Jones, who's now took a couple drug tests. Anderson Silva, even though they got cleared afterward, Cyborg got cleared too. Brian Ortega, that's actually a fucking great someone I could point out to you. How fucking have you ever heard anybody come out and like seriously? Brian Ortega failed a drug test, came out and like admitted to it. Like, yo guys, I would imagine, I'm not going to look into it, it's probably going to become harder and harder to find that statement that he made after the fight when he came out and admitted to it. But he was like, yo, listen, I apologize, but he did it in a good way kind of too, and maybe that's why people don't give him shit for it. I think it's because he's fucking beautiful. Pause. I think that's why he gets a pass. But he came out and was like, listen guys, I apologize. I was just, it was my UFC debut. It was first or second fight in the UFC, I think his debut. I was trying to get ahead in the fight, and I fucked up. I completely apologize, and it won't happen again. Like, he ate that shit on the chin. He didn't come out and make an excuse. He didn't come out and say, I'm innocent. He didn't, you know what I'm saying? He didn't come out and say, oh, it was tainted horse meat. He didn't do none of that shit. He said, hey, I was trying to gain an advantage from my fight in the UFC, one of the biggest fights of my life. I apologize, and moved on. But what I'm saying is, there's a lot of people that will never let Cyborg live that down. That one mistake from before she was even in the UFC. And honestly, Brian Ortega and some other fighters get a pass on that. And maybe you say, well, look at Brian Ortega. He doesn't look like he's roided out of his mind. But you could fucking look at some dudes in the UFC. I don't want to really point any names out because a lot of them are my even favorite fighters at the top of the sport. I mean, there's probably some champions you could look at and question. I'll say that. I'll go as far as to say that if you go down the fucking UFC roster, and I'll even go as far as to say in the lighter divisions, one of the lighter divisions. Okay, I'm not going to narrow it down anymore. I'm just saying, if you go down the UFC roster, there's so many fucking fighters that don't pass the eye test. There's some prospects coming up that I enjoy who just scheduled a fight. And this dude, I don't call it out like that because I don't play that game. I don't play it with Cyborg. I don't play it with anybody else. Yeah, there's people that don't pass the eye test, but I don't give a shit. You're not failing your drug test, man. You're doing something right, or USADA's doing something wrong. That don't got shit to do with me. You fail your drug test, you lose a fight. We'll talk about it. We'll, you know what I'm saying? But I'm not gonna hold it against you for fucking ever. You know what I'm saying? Whether you're Cyborg, whether you're fucking even Jon Jones, do I believe you can beat a clean Daniel Cormier? I might not, but I don't fucking look at you like the scum of the earth. because you're trying to gain a competitive advantage. You know what they say? You ain't cheating, you ain't trying. No, I'm just kidding. But no, yeah, seriously though, there's a lot of people that that don't pass the eye test and they don't get near as much shit, or that have failed drug tests and they don't get near as much shit. What? I checked for Andrade heavyweight, you goof troop, says Stamina. No, man. I said that because I feel like the only reason you don't like that topic, I don't know if it's because you're a huge Rose fan and you don't like the fact that it like approaches the Rose might be, you know what I'm saying, taking a little time off line, and you don't like that part of the topic, or if you just don't care so much for Andrade, because I feel like she's kind of getting looked over and not really much attention is getting brought to her situation, and I think it's because so many people love Rose, and I love Rose too. You know, I'm not on here every day like, yo, where's Rose? I'm not doing that shit every day. Where's Rose? Andrade is waiting. I'm just saying, I'm just looking at what's going on from Jessica Andrade's standpoint. We all know she's, and we don't know her money situation, but she's one of the top contenders in the UFC that is essentially able to be starved out. And I don't look at her as someone, she's not living a lavish lifestyle. Jessica Andrade ain't pulling up in fucking fur coats and fucking, you know what I'm saying, and that type of shit. She's not trying to get money to fucking waste, but she's doing what she needs to do to get fight checks while she could potentially be the damn champion. And by the way, if she fought Rose, or if Rose even, and if Rose is hurt, and I'm talking mentally or physically, I get that. Take the time to recover. Why are we holding on? If it's serious, and both of them could be serious, 100% not joking here. Both of those could be very serious. If Rose Namajunas actually is fucking traumatized and all of that shit from that bus attack, she really needs to get that worked out. It's not good to be fighting, you know what I'm saying, and you're fucking, when you're a mental case, if that's what happened after that attack, which I've got my, you know, like on a side note, I do have my skepticisms of that, but that's just me, and I know that's not an easy thing to talk about because mental health ain't something to play with, and I know that. Actually, I've got family that's, and personally, like, I know a lot of shit about mental health. So I know that shit's not serious, and that's why I have my stance. I know a lot of people affected by mental health, and I'm not talking about, you know, mental retardation. I'm talking about mental traumatization. I'm talking about life experiences, crazy shit that happened growing up in shitty circumstances. I know about from that personal, family, all type of shit. So I don't take that shit, I don't play with that. So that's why I have my stance that I have on that situation. But what I'm saying is, if that did trigger something in Rose, that attack, and now she can only go, you know what I'm saying, and now she's closed in or whatever, if that's something serious, then that's a potential reason that we need to vacate. If we, you know, that, I'm just saying, if it's serious. Same with a neck injury. Neck injuries are serious. Now, I don't know where the neck injury came from. I don't know if it came from her Joanna fight. I don't recall Joanna dumping her on her head in the fight. So I don't know where the neck injury came from. Maybe she was in a cowboy type accident, you know, outside the UFC, rolled a damn ATV, or she was hiking and fucking, you know, something happened. But if it's a serious neck injury, I hear that, but I would like a little clarification on that. As far as, you know, the timetable for return, I've heard it's going to be early 2019, and okay. But if it's a serious neck injury, you need to make sure that heals up. And if we've seen it happen with other fighters where you're a champion, I mean, Dominic Cruz comes to mind. If you get plagued with injuries, or if you have a lengthy injury, they might have to strip you. And that's not always the worst thing in the world. Or even with Conor McGregor, we've seen him get stripped. It wasn't because of injury, but he got to come back and fight for the title. So even if we just fucking take Rose out of the equation because we love her, make sure she heals up, you know, smoke some of the best weed, you know, have some of the best hiking experiences in that RV, whatever you need to do, fucking heal up your neck, woo-saw, everything you need to do to get right mentally, and when you come back 100% healed up neck, no mental trauma, fucking clear-minded, fight for that title. But meanwhile, let Jessica Andrade get some motherfucking money. Let her get some paper. Don't hold her up because you got all this shit going on and you just want to hold on to the belt. You want to take pictures with it in the holidays. So I'm just saying, let's just let this motherfucking division percolate a little bit, because now we take Rose out of the equation and look at it from Jessica Andrade's standpoint. is some bullshit. She's a top contender. She's having to clear out the division before she gets the belt. So once she finally gets the belt, nobody's going to want to pay to see her fights because she's already fucking beat everybody. So, oh, you want to see Jessica Andrade versus Carolina too? Oh, we already seen it when she wasn't the champion. Why do we think Carolina's going to win it now? Oh, do you want to see Jessica Andrade versus Tecia Torres? Oh, we already seen it. Oh, do you want to see Jessica Andrade versus... Oh, we already seen it. She could be getting paid like a fucking champion. Those are all title defenses if she's the champion. But the belt's in limbo, and so Jessica Andrade is clearing out her division as a contender's fee. So she's not getting paid much money to do it, to clear out this division, to where she's resorting to selling fucking baked cookies and fight gear. So you look at it from where Jessica Andrade is sitting, this is fucked up. And by the way, the UFC clearly hasn't been clear with Jessica Andrade about this whole Rose injury, or Jessica Andrade wouldn't have been calling Rose out for December 29th for UFC 232. She's the number one contender. I feel like the UFC should tell Jessica Andrade, hey, Rose is dealing with a pretty serious neck injury. She's not going to be able to fight for a while, so we can't book that fight for UFC 232. Not really much of a reason to call her out. You know, like, the number one contender she clearly wasn't too aware of this injury, at least the extent of it. So it is what it is, man. It is what it is. So LMAO. Dennis Espinosa says Roses with Waldo. Yo, out there in the mountains. By the way, Rose has an RV, says Benji. I'm just saying. Imagine the jokes if GDR had an RV and was doing road trips, says Benji. Yo, Rose is out there legit. She says, nah, man, I just want Pat Barry to say some shit and just dead the whole thing. He ain't injured. Yeah, but and I hear what you're saying, Stamina. And the fact that he's not doing that kind of leads me more to my side of the stance. It could be cleared up by any number of ways. This could be cleared up, right? And the fact that it's not kind of makes me think there's something to prolonging being the champion, and you know, and it's not like that's new. It's not like that's new, prolonging your time with the belt. People gave Nico Montano shit for doing it, and I'm not saying Rose is Nico, but I'm just saying a lot of people felt like Nico was holding on to the belt not because she wanted to fight Valentina, but because she wanted to hold on to it as long as possible because she wasn't going to have that belt long. You got to fight Valentina next? Well, shit, good luck with the belt. You better try and make Easter and the 4th of July. These people, you know what I'm saying? Or whatever you can do with the belt to market yourself, which is your time. UFC champion Nico Montano coming to boom to give us a speech. Boom. Get paid for the speech. Like, that's your time to make some cash when you got that belt. And if you ain't going to have the belt long, you better hold on to that motherfucker. And we see it all the time. People get the belt and they get injured. A champion will say, yeah, I'm too injured to fight this guy. And Tyron Woodley, I love him, but it's happened with him. Like, nah, my hand's too hurt to fight Colby, but, oh, what, you need me to fight Darren Till or even like Nate Diaz? My hand might be cool. My hand might be good enough for that. Daniel Cormier, who I love. Nah, man, my hand's a little banged up. I'm not going to fight Stipe on short notice, but I'll fight fucking Derek Lewis, you know? So Rose, yeah, her neck's injured, and she's, you know, I can't fight Andrade right now, but if there was like a trilogy fight, like a Tecia Torres or a Michelle Waterson won their last fight and they were up for a title contender, I think Rose would heal up a lot quicker to fight like a Michelle Waterson rematch or something, or a more winnable fight. That's all I'm saying. Because you got to be 100% to fight Jessica Andrade, just like you got to be 100% to fight Stipe. I wonder if Kane is ever fighting again, says Dennis Espinosa. I mean, his teammate Josh Thompson is saying, you know, hit up the UFC and ask them about him. But if you hit up Cain Velasquez on his social media, he's definitely got a lot of WWE action going on over there. Couple more topics though. Jorge Masvidal detailing his recent run on reality television. Holy shit, I've spent too much time on this show. I gotta go to work. I'm probably gonna be a little late, damn it. All right, let's go. A couple more things, just a couple more things. All right, Masvidal detailing his recent run on the reality show, which I'm kind of glad he detailed it because I was curious. like what's really going on? I knew it was a physical thing. I knew there was a lot of physical competitions, but I still didn't know exactly what Masvidal was doing. It was kind of surprised me when he was announced on it, and he's kind of been a little bit of a way from fighting. But he says because he didn't expect to be on the show that long. He was like, "Yo, the money was so good, I couldn't turn it down." And that goes to a lot of people say you shouldn't do something for money. Get the fuck out of here. Sorry, guys, if that's your stance, bro. If an opportunity comes up that's too good to pass up, you got to do it. Like, if it's a good opportunity to grow your brand, you got to do it. I get people don't like people doing things just for money, but it's not just for money. It's also to grow your brand, right? Whenever Cyborg goes in a video with Bad Baby, it's to grow her brand, I feel like. Whenever Jorge goes on this thing, it's either for the bag, but also to potentially grow his brand. This shit was on Ultimate Beastmaster. It was kind of like Ultimate Beastmaster, he said. But it was on, I believe, like the Spanish network, I believe. And so that's a whole new fucking fan base he's reaching over there, and he's doing good on the show, making a lot of fucking money. I don't look at Jorge Masvidal like he got on a reality TV show and he sold out. Look at him like he's getting to the motherfucking bag. And some people don't agree with that, but that's probably because they already got a bag, right? It's usually the only people that criticize people for doing shit for money are people that already have money. And you're like, "Nah, man, you shouldn't want money." Like, yeah, bitch, that's easy to fucking say for you. Because you ain't got fucking, you know what I'm saying, payday loans and family members that are fucking homeless and all this bullshit going on and fucking heat not working and no air conditioning and fucking no tags on your car or insurance. Yeah, it sounds real fucking nice when you can sit on your fucking high horse, with your money in the bank and say, "I don't like people who do shit for money." It must be fucking nice. I don't fucking hate on nobody for trying to get to that fucking bag because I know what it's like. And so salute to motherfucking Masvidal, but he says it's like Ultimate Beastmaster. Have you seen that? It's like American Ninja Warrior. The whole day we're in there following their regimen and we're competing. It's one team, red against blue, and it's 5 guys, 5 girls, and you're just competing for prizes the whole time long. And then there's grand finale prize, and there's mini prizes leading up to it. He said, you got like parkour courses, kind of. The parkour people get offended when you call them that. I don't know how to explain it. It's just these courses that you run and you jump. You do everything from swinging off ropes, jumping into pools, jumping out. And it'll always finish where you got to throw objects. Like you have a baseball and you got to drop like 5 pins. You got 5 balls, and whoever does the fastest will score 1 point for the team. And that's all I did for 13 weeks, just competing that. It was a different type of competition, and it was very elite for me because I'm going up against gymnasts, Olympians, parkour dudes that have been doing this their whole life. He said the national rock climbing champion of Mexico, Phenom. The kid was like 19 years old, 20 years old when he broke the record. Complete Phenom. He's on the opposing team, so there's a lot of talent when it comes to the world on that side. And I'm trying to get to the point. There he was. There it is. He says the money was like beyond freaking right. Like crazy, dude. Because the thing about it, I didn't think, and I got to thank my manager, Abe Kawa, who got me on this at first because I didn't want to do it. As soon as I heard reality TV, I was like, no, this doesn't sound like it's going to be good. But when he told me about the competition and how the food is given out by the production team, I was like, I might have some advantages mentally because these guys might break. They might get tired. I'm not going to be bothered if all they gave me was rice to eat all day. So I signed up, and then I got there, and I was like, man, this is not what I expected at all. And yeah, the offer was really good. Me, win or lose, I was getting paid a very handsome fee weekly. And I was like, I can't get no fighting in. Maybe I'll go on the show for like 2 or 3 weeks because of these checks. They're nice little checks, and then I'll come back. So, check this out. Masvidal was like, okay, they're going to give me what? I'm just going to throw a number out there. Like, what? And this is no inside information, just a complete guess. Wait, they're going to give me $25,000 a fucking week? To go on this show? And just chill? And compete? $25,000 a week? Okay, let's check it out, man. Let's check it out. Go have some, And then he got there. I'll be there for about 3 weeks. $75,000. That's a nice little bag. This motherfucker makes it to week 11. He made it to week 13. Cha-ching, motherfucker. Let's go. Let's go. I was he got the bag. He was looking at like 2 or 3 weeks. Nice fat check. Right? You get a job and it's paying really good, but it's temporary. You don't know when work's going to stop. Like, man, I'm fucking loving this overtime. You fuck around and get 5 weeks of fucking overtime, but it's, work that's not grueling. So you're like, I can do this. Like, that's dope as fuck. So he got the bag, and now he's ready to come back and fight. So salute to Jorge Masvidal. But we got one more topic to talk about before we get out of here. I don't even want to talk about it. Jake Paul calling out Dillon Danis. And no, Jake Paul is not Logan Paul, who fought KSI and was going to fight CM Punk or Sage Northcutt. This is his brother Jake Paul. Still a YouTuber, I believe. But this might be Bellator's Paul brother if these guys are serious about coming to MMA. Jake Paul versus Dillon Danis. Dear Dillon Danis, I'd beat your ass. Sincerely, Jake Paul. Sean O'Malley said, please let this happen. You know how lit that would be, bro? You would have to fucking be out of your element to watch this fight. This is what's crazy, bro. Dillon Danis would fucking choke Jake Paul out. I'm not even lying to you guys. Dillon Danis would choke Jake Paul the fuck out. I don't want to tell you. I don't want to be the bearer of bad news. Dillon Danis would choke Jake Paul the fuck out. He's legit been at least rolling with, in MMA now, training him for MMA fights. The opponent he beat wasn't very tough, but Dillon Danis has been rolling with MMA fighters, training with MMA fighters. And Jake Paul might have had some high school wrestling. Your wrestling ain't going to do shit for you if you don't got no submission defense. You're going to get choked the fuck out. Or you're something broken. So, yeah, Jake Paul would get choked the fuck out. Scott Coker said, hey, Jake Paul, if you have some business you want to handle with my partner, call me. With my partner? God, I love Scott Coker, man. Holy shit, I love Scott Coker. Completely still running with this Dillon Danis is his business partner thing. Oh my God. A while back, Dillon Danis was trolling almost, it felt. He was like, yo, I'm the fucking highest draw in Bellator. Scott Coker's my business partner. And then on like Dillon Danis' birthday, Scott Coker, had some fun. He was like, yo, happy birthday to my business partner, Dillon Danis. And now that we're still just clearly trolling and joking, he's like, yo, Jake Paul, if you have some business to handle with my partner, call me. God, I love Scott Coker. That shit is epic. Jake Paul says, I'm also talking specifically about boxing. I haven't done a J of jiu-jitsu, but his striking is super weak. Now we're talking. But, yeah, jiu-jitsu, I thought we were talking MMA. So he wants to box Dillon Danis. Now that's a lot more like the YouTuber, shit show. Now that one, I probably still give the edge to Dillon Danis. He's at least been throwing some strikes at SBG. Even if he's there to train, teach guys jiu-jitsu, he's at least throwing some goddamn strikes in there. And Jake Paul, I just don't see him ever practicing his striking. So I'm just giving the edge to Dillon Danis, man. I don't give a fuck if it's boxing or MMA. I think Dillon Danis will fuck Jake Paul up, guys. Shogun Lazo says, when will Full-Time do a Tony Ferguson interview? We need that weirdo up in this bitch. Y'all would love to do a Tony Ferguson. I'm a huge Tony Ferguson fan, actually, but those high-level fighters, it's pretty close to impossible to get an interview with because they got great management and they're huge and, there's a million people that want to interview them and we're just some fucking little shadow band YouTube channel. So, you know what I'm saying? But that would be awesome. And this might actually happen. We live in retarded times, says Benji. Yes, sir. Well, with that being said, guys, we'll take a quick look at UFC Denver. We'll talk more about it next week. I got to get out of here, but main card, Frankie Edgar's out against Korean Zombie, replaced by Yair Rodriguez. So we got Korean Zombie versus El Pantera. Cerrone versus Perry. Cannot wait for Cowboy versus Platinum Perry. We got Durandame versus Raquel. That's going to be a good fight. Benavidez versus Borg. I like that fight a lot. You know what I'm saying? You make sure you tune into that if you like the flyweight division because this motherfucker might be closing down pretty soon. The signs are pointing to the UFC potentially getting rid of the flyweight division. I want to hold off on that. I really don't want to believe the UFC would do that, but they very well fucking could, and that would kind of suck. I like a lot of the flyweights, so it is what it is. Macy Barber versus Hannah Cyphers. So see Macy Barber make her UFC debut. Much awaited. She's a pretty bright prospect. Mike Trezano versus the Violent Bob Ross. Luis Pena. Violent Bob Ross, fun dude, undefeated. Both these guys coming off of tough Season 26? Season 26, I believe. Or no, Cormier Stipe, maybe? I think the undefeated. These guys came off the undefeated Cormier Stipe. That's where it was. Okay. But yeah, man, so with that being said, man, that's pretty much it for the show today. I got to get ready for work to try and be there on time. And yeah, man, thank you guys for coming through the show. We'll be back tomorrow. One last question. Leanne Dobson says, what are your thoughts on this debacle of an MMA matchup, Mayweather versus Nasukawa? Yeah, that would be a wicked to link up, man. I'd be for that. My thoughts on that are there might be modified rules which would help Mayweather because Floyd Mayweather would get and it wasn't going to be MMA ever. There was talks of it. This is supposed to be a kickboxing fight from what I originally heard, but now there's talks of even modified rules from that to where it might be more just of a boxing fight. So if it's boxing, I think it's going to be like I guess just like a fucking showcase for this kid because he's clearly not going to beat Mayweather in boxing. He's 26 years old. Mayweather's probably been boxing longer than he's been breathing. Boxing match, it's Mayweather. It's Mayweather. It's Mayweather. Every time it's Mayweather. Unless you have like smaller gloves, maybe. But boxing, it's Mayweather. Kickboxing, this guy will fucking sleep Mayweather. I'm talking bring the smelling salts out. I'm talking about Debo fucking... Not when Debo got slept either. I'm talking about when that's my bike, punk. Boom! You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't want that shit. You don't want that shit, Floyd. Floyd does not want no motherfucking smoke. Zero, zip, zada, no vapor, no gas, no smoke, no clouds with motherfucking Tenshin Nasukawa in kickboxing. He'll knock you fucking stiff with the left straight, a spinning heel kick, a motherfucking flying knee. He's got what you need when it comes to the kickboxing. So, don't do it, Floyd. It's going to have to be boxing if Floyd really wants a chance in this fight. There's my thoughts. With that being said, thank you guys for coming through. It is what it is. Salute to the chat and the full-time family. If you haven't yet finished biting your bagels, do me a favor before you get out of here. Smash the like button like your middle name is motherfucking Khabib and you come from Dagestan. Let the full-time family know what you think in the comments. I'm out of here. Off to work. Off of work, back on to work.